Oh, pretty much right off the bat, we got it set up right.
Oh, Niner. Fuzzy. Nice.
9 plus 26.
Hello and welcome to a live impromptu from Mason's Bowling Center. It's supposed to be New Palace Lanes today, but... Hello, Lenny. It's supposed to be New Palace today, but they had electrical problems, so no King of the Palace for the month of October, which means November's going to be pretty dry for videos. So we're here at Mason's Unexpected. We are on lane number 12. 13 and 14 are the easiest ones, meaning they're just playing hard instead of ridiculous. How will things go? Yeah, the twisted ankle is a lot better.
That's good. That's good.
So let's see how it goes.
That's a good job. All right, whose turn? My turn? Go hit the button, please.
Much better start than we've been having lately. Niner. Be a 10 anywhere else. Niner.
Oh no.
One.
Hit the button.
Just behind the lot line. I mean, minor ones we let live, but try not to do it. Seems to be an alternate pattern of 9s and 8s.
Nine.
Good job.
First mark of the day with a spare. Now, time for the halftime report. So far, we got 9s and 8s in the spare. We are at least at a 44, which ties the low. For those of you wondering what the little L usually stands for, high single 139 done at Putnam Street, low of 44 done here at Mason's. My high here at Mason's is 121. And since we got a spare, you know what that means? It's time for El Stinko, the bonus ball. What will the bonus be?
Oh no!
El Stinko stinks for the leave. 6 fell. That makes it half of 50. Hello, John.
Oh no, he had a spinner.
How many is it? 1, 2, 3.
I haven't got it.
And that undoes the spare with a 6. Still looking like a maybe bottom end of average, if not close to normal. Welcome to Mason's. Got lucky.
I needed that for another spare.
All right, so we're at the bottom end of average. Need 9 for this final frame to hit middle. And according to ICBA standards from data they collect on casual league bowlers, average ability is 90. Most people's averages fluctuate 10 points, so we like to hit 80 to 100. 100 here is quite impressive. And those in the competitive professional average is $1.05. But we're not professional. Well, technically, since I make money off this, I'm considered the world's worst Candlepin professional bowler. So, but I'm going with the casual 90. Last frame. and we just hit it. All right, first game. That doesn't help. That's a little weak. Oh, we got a 90. Hello, Star. Game number 2. High triple is a 325. Done last month. Doubt it'll be broken here. Better than what could have been. That's a 7. So close, but 9. Lousy 6. I think that might have been a minor lob.
Where was that? Give him the 7. 7.
Again. Well, there's one of our buddies, the 4 horsemen. 4 of them. Halftime report. Not too good. We got a 7 and a 6 in there. We are at a rebuildable 39. Battery pack was starting to come loose. It's not needed yet.
I didn't mean that.
Say it with me now. Welcome to Mason's.
6.
Lovely 5. But at least we haven't had a stink frame yet. Uh-oh.
What happened?
Usually that ain't as bad as it looks. All right, you got a spare. That means it's time for El Stinko, the bonus ball. What will the bonus be? It'll probably help make things a little bit better. All right, El Stinko gave us a 5.
How many did you get? Oh, good? Thank you. Coming out still? Where is it? Oh, the other one.
That's why I hope it hits something at least.
Thank you.
8. That's a 4 because that gutter ball did a lot of damage. There's the first stink frame of the day. Need at least 9 to break even. Otherwise, it's a mediocre game. Spares are much better than 9.
My turn.
That That means this frame ends with El Stinko the bonus ball.
There.
El Stinko stunk with 3. Yuck. And not so good, but then we recovered. That gutter ball that really did a lot of damage. And a spare with a lousy fill. 84. I'm okay with 84. How it happened, yeah. Time to start game number 3. Start with a 7.
Shoes untied. What'd you get, 6? 7. 7. Nice job. No pressure.
To maintain, but we need at least 1 9. 8 to maintain, 9s and 10s are better, and I'm stepping.
Nice, Jack.
The strike streak may die here today.
Firm, but not crazy.
Spares definitely help.
Oh, wait.
And you know what that means? It's time for El Stinko the bonus ball. Oh, the bonus B.
The butt release.
Yeah.
We left the new Palace left for a 9.
Come on in.
They got 4.
gonna try to swing again. Niner. Halftime report. Weak start, good spare with a good fill, and that's all we get for the last frame there in the half. Out of 51. Hundreds don't come easily here, so that's kind of a false hope there, having a 50 or higher at the half. Doesn't mean it couldn't happen. Doesn't mean I couldn't get hot. It's more often I get hot in the beginning of a game and not at the end. But it has happened. And that's another welcome to Mason's moment. He is great. My buddy Chris seems to have a new work schedule that doesn't allow him to bowl anymore. When we'll see him again, I don't know. When we'll see my father, the holiday season, it's pretty much a wash. So. Oh.
No, it's good.
I was worried that wasn't going to stay on, but it stayed well on. Needless to say, the triple will not break, but that's pretty much expected. I'd have to almost get a 200 game, which at this point, not a thing. Which at my skill, not a thing. Hey, getting spares, a thing. Al Stinko, the bonus ball, a thing. How many points? Might be a thing.
The bumpers wouldn't have changed that again.
Al Stinko lived up to its name with a lousy 2. And spare means nothing now. Stick frame of 4. On the other hand, 2 frames to go to get 5 to hit the bottom end of average. Best we can do is 9. That'll be 8. something.
6.
Good 10 to round it out. Alrighty. El Stinko stunk there. Curse of the fill from that. Nonetheless, so far we have our high of the day of 93. At Masons, that's not too bad. Time for game number 4. By the way, if you are leaving chat messages, if I can respond to them, I do. And if you are sending them and I'm not responding, chances are it's not coming through. That has happened, especially here at Masons for some odd reason. Everything here is tough. Anyway, I don't want you to think I'm pulling an alpha omega sin and ignoring you. Game number 4. You know what that means? It's time to go for the Emily, which is nothing in ball 1, everything in ball 2. Worst start, game of lousy stink frame of 4.
Dial in now.
Seven, so far nothing good. My worst 2 frame total of 11 so far. Busted the bowling god's middle finger for 10. That helped a little bit. That piece of wood that's in front of the 8-bit. You probably can't see it. So I have to use the lowest quality camera. This thing will freeze up. I have to cap it. Otherwise, it's a 9.
Don't do the back step, just go straight.
Another 10.
right side of that front pin. Get the right side.
That ball fell out of my hand.
All right, nice. 7 or 8. Is there another one behind there? Oh, there is.
That ruins the game. Lousy 4. Halftime report, like I care. 4 7s and 2 10s. 35. I think it's safe to say, unless there's a mark and a good fill, this one's junk. That one leaning does count as falling. Nines help, but we're going to need a lot of them. Currently, we are in the same position as when we got our 93. Not exactly thinking it's going to happen, but never know.
Jack, keep away.
And there's the first, I wish it was ball 2 moment. Still helps a lot. Tens definitely help.
4.
Twice in this game, in spite of the lousy score, I am facing the chance of getting what we call here on this channel the microwave turkey dinner. That's when you get 3 10s in a row. It's not a real thing, but that's what we call it on this channel. And there it went, 6. Need a clean plate.
One more. Throw it straight down the middle, not so hard. Be firm.
Need at least a 10.
There you go. Mission failed.
mediocrity. We failed. This is not a good game. That's a 9. Mission failed. The 6 ruined it. The 6 completely ruined it. 79, which is not 80, therefore we failed. 100% failure rate. Right. TKE fan, 30 minutes since the last chat. Alrighty. Game number 5. Then again, even I got to remember, throwing a no stinker, which is everything 80 or higher at Masons, really, really next to impossible. Done it once. Now we got the 4 horsemen to deal with. Bowling God's middle finger remains for the 9. That ties the high star. Well, that's one of them we were expecting me to get at some point. A half Worcester right. And I will repeat this because I said a long time ago, found out from Putnam Street or New Palace, Miola's is not halfway to Worcester. In fact, it's only about a third of the way, surprisingly, or 40%. Here, I think it's Wachusett Reservoir. Purposely aimed away from the head pin for a safety, and the safety gives us an 8.
Oh, he did. He spun it.
Well, we had to get the half Worcester on the left now, since we got it on the right. Or a right-hander, the left one is better off. Now pulling into Union Station.
I know, you know.
And a frame of 4 to ruin the whole game.
Hey, focus. That's no focus. My turn. Wasn't even
Ten helps. I needed that.
Don't pull. Don't pull.
just repeat like we did last time. That's a 6. Slightly better. Halftime report of disappointment. 4, 6, 37. Every once in a while, even Masons will give you something.
That thing was leaning more than anything. 8, yeah, nice job.
The appropriate middle finger for 9. This time it's the kingpin standing for 9. The way you can tell the difference between the head pin and the kingpin, kingpin's a little darker because it's further from the deck leg. That would be 9 anywhere else, but 8.
Over there. Under.
I guess the bowling gods are helping somebody else and leaving me alone. Another Mason's gift, and of course gifts we accept. Kingpin again for 9.
Jack, can you get this?
Much better position. We need at least 8 in the final frame to hit the bottom end of average. It'll be a weak game, but at least we're in the average round. Too far back. This time it's the middle finger up there for 9. That being said, we squeaked into average ability there. Nice strong finish. 9s and 8. Wishing for marks. 81 pulling out of that Pulling out of that death spiral. Game number 6. Then after game number 6, it'll be halftime where we go to the men's room, wet the bowling towel down, and clean the bowling balls. Time to finish the first half. Boy, this thing is loose. Start of game 6. I was debating on safety or go for it. I went for it. Kingpin remains for 9. Let's see, anywhere else, how many strikes I would have got? About 3 or 4? New palace left. Piece of wood for plan B. Another piece of wood that could possibly be plan C, but I think it's too far up towards us, which would hit that other wood and ruin it. It wasn't going to happen there anyway.
Wait, I want to show you how to roll. No,
Another 9er. $18 for the first 2 strings. Or 2 frames. That's the highest 2 frame total I've had so far. Doesn't mean anything. Once at Putnam, I got a 1 frame and wound up in 3 digits, so everything's relative. Well, it's better than the alternative, so that's 7.
I may just play a couple more, Jack, okay? I wanted to play the I played like an hour. Okay, last one that
Teeter and not go. Welcome to Masons. How's he 6? Now this game's going down the toilet. Well, something good came out of it. Strike streak's not dead. Halftime report. Yes, Chris Allen. Welcome, and strike it is. Good, good. Garbage, garbage. Strike. So far, we are at least at a 41, and 2 El Stinko the bonus balls. Now, where I've got a double strike, come on, show me the battery. Where I've got double strikes, I've done it at Putnam Street because it's Putnam Street. I've done it at Acton Bowlodrome because it's a grease pit. I've done it at Bryan's, which is a hard place. And of all places to get a double strike, Mason's. Of all places. Yet New Palace, I couldn't buy one if life depended on it. So let's see what we get for a fill. 2 El Stinkos. Worst case scenario, an 8 fill, and we got a piece of wood. Let's fall into the gutter. There we go. Seriously, anywhere else that would have fallen. 8, not a bad fill. So that makes the half a 49. And the 8 is what we're getting.
No, I'm not messing around this time. Okay. Here you go.
Niner. Like I've said, hundreds are very hard to come by here. Don't expect them. I've been lucky the last time. So that 108 and 118, no, 103 and 118, the last time I was here. Very abnormal. And a 7. Two frames to get 7 to hit the bottom end of average. If it were only ball 2, 10 is still good. crappy 6. Seven and 6 kind of ruined things a little bit. 89, one away from right in the average zone. So that being said, in a couple of minutes, I'll be right back. Gotta wet the towel and clean the bowling balls. Alright, now to clean the bowling balls. Alright, Mason's a little on the filthy side today, but that's normal. It's nothing out of the ordinary. I'm going for a while. Enjoy the second half and don't suck. Well, now you cursed it. I've watched how you watch the bow. Have a meal watching you as well. Yeah, there's some videos I do the same thing. Battery's getting a little weak. Time to plug it in and time to watch this thing heat up and freeze. There we go. Oh, we're a pretty low battery. Game 7. Alright, I gotta explain a little rule there. When I threw the ball, the wood was steady. When the ball was delivered, a piece of wood in the back decided to roll. If anything is steady after you throw the ball and it moves, it still counts as okay. You just can't throw it if the wood is moving before you throw. Same thing with pins. If they somehow fall after you deliver and without contact, it still counts. Ball 3. Kingpin for 9. There we go. Clean the bowling balls, things get better. Now that I said that, I'm going to curse it. So you know what that means? It means 2 El Stink of the bonus balls. And because people jump in and out of these live streams, I'll repeat. I've got double strikes at Putnam Street because it's Putnam Street. Acton Bowldrome because it's a grease pit. Brian's, which is a tough house. And of all places, Mason's. We came close, believe it or not, the last time we got a strike here. A few games ago. Let's see what happens. Let's see what we get from Phil. Welcome to Mason's. El Stinko 1 is a 1. The rare moment that a quarter Worcester ends well. I still got a third ball, but a 9 fill. Dethrone the king. That's where I got way overconfident with the grip.
Right down the middle now.
Oh, I did not see the 8 pin. Well, 7. We can afford that. Not to where I was aiming, but it got us in. Halftime report, and the way things are going, it's false hope. Strike with a 9 fill, 10, 7, and an 8, 53. High single, 139, Putnam Street. Low, 44 here. My high here at Mason's is a 121. Two in the same game. At Mason's, very rare. Once again, 2 El Stinko the bonus balls. El Stinko 1 lives up to its name with a 1. Good thing about a strike is we get 2. Only at Mason's when you hit a pin and it would refuse to fall. A craptacular 5 fill. On a spare, it's okay. On a strike, not so much. If anything, that helped. Curse of the fill, 7. We got 3 frames to get 5. It's possible to 3 digits, but not putting any money on it. So we get 7, 6, 5, or whatever, because we need 8 for 3 digits. Made it. We made it. Clean bowling balls help. Although we had some stinkers. Lousy 5 fill and a 7. Curse of the fill. 8, 9, 10. 102. For me, that's very hard to get a 100 here. I'm going to try regular bowling. Did you see the last episode of Watch Me Suck at Bowling? Comes from what was then the Brunswick Zone, now known as Bolero, in Lowell, and that's 10 pin. As for an impromptu, I don't know. Mostly every place that has it plays music, which means you'd have to sit through a silent picture pretty much. Or at least have decent phone reception. Anyway, 102, frame 8, or game 8. Seven. Oddly enough, now that the 102 kind of nulls and voids this, 7 start was the highest game. Well, he didn't show up for a while. He's leaning a little bit. Say hello. Say hello to Bob Caleri. Hi. Let's say goodbye to him. Although here at Mason's, that's really hard to do. Let's say goodbye. It was a good ball. Niner. That means it's time for El Stinko, the bonus ball. What will the bonus be? El Stinko is a bit weak with a 4. Piece of wood there might be helpful if I do this. I'll get something from it. It did not help. Should have been the first ball. Who knows what would have happened though. Kingpin for 9. Oh, Bob Cleary. He left his hand in the door the last time he showed up. That was good, but it ain't too bad. Halftime report. 7, weak 4 fill from the 9 frame that filled in the spare. 8, decent 47. Alrighty. Those you say I don't suck, I had control of that ball, and that's where it went. 8. Should have been the second ball, not that it would have been a wish it was ball 2 moment. Could have gone 10, but 9. Pins within 3. It hooked at the last moment. Thought that was a bad draw. Finally a mark. It's time for El Stinko, the bonus ball. What will the bonus be? was gifted a little action in the back for week 4. Alrighty, 3 for this final frame to hit the middle of average. Now we got a piece of wood rolling around. We gotta wait for it to stop. Well, it's still rolling a little bit. Now in the previous time when I threw and wood started moving, it was good because it was still when I threw. Pins weren't there to make it happen. 7. All right, not too bad, especially here. That lousy 4 fill, which, well, it helps still. It's a weak fill, but it helps. We don't consider a 4 fill an true El Stinko because even the pros get the 4 fills on the regular. 94, not bad. Time to finish the third quarter with game 9. Middle finger for 9. Take 9. I'll repeat this because in and out of people jump in and out, and I only said this once in the very beginning, is this would have been at New Palace today because they were going to record the January edition of King of the Palace, but due to technical difficulties that they could not fix on time, for the first time ever, a monthly series was canceled. and we'll try again next month, I believe. That's what I'm thinking. They're just gonna change one of the events to something else. They're probably gonna get rid of the scratch, the one that I can actually try and qualify for, and replace it with something else. Frame 3.
7 points better than your other.
Middle finger remains for the 9. That was a thin hit anyway, but look at how fat that kingpin is now. I would have had to have lost total control of that to not happen. It's time for El Stenko, the bonus ball. Let's see what this bonus winds up being. El Stenko stinks for the double pinochle. Oh! 6 fill isn't too bad. Another disaster. Best we can do is 7. Six. Curse of the fill. Halftime report. 9s. Spare. Lousy 6 fill, and that's all we get. 49. Fills do not count, but 3 6s in a row, and they have to be frames, not fills. Makes it a slayer. Nobody wants a Slayer. Maybe some people would like to see Slayer in a stadium playing music, but not 3/6 frames. I think they're actually done now. I think they played their final gig. Then they'll realize they'll make money and come back. Motley Crue. Lousy 7. Yeah, we can afford that one. just in front of the lob line. But like I said, minor ones will let live. This game's fallen completely apart and going into the toilet. It's a 7. I need 12 of these 2 frames to hit bottom. At least it's 9. Just need 3. It's something. That's all I want, is at least something if it's going to be close. Decent. And as the ability fades over time, we give them a second cleaning, usually for the final quarter. What a crap pull. 7, 5, 7, then a 9, and a 9. Pulled out with an 86. Game number 10. Got her. Start with 9. Anywhere else? Still an 8. going to need some assistance unless it decides to roll more towards the gutter and fall in. Spare. It's time once again for El Stinko, the bonus ball. What will the bonus be? El Stinko gave us a week 4, and it stinks for that leave. Curse of the fill, it went in the gutter. That's a 4. Halftime report. It's one of those, how could it be as good as it is? 4 fill, and that's all we got for the whole stinking frame. And an 8. Somehow it's a 43. Great ball, but sandpaper on thin plates. Take 9. Then that happened. Couldn't ask for too much more. 8. Three frames to get 20. Strength frame of 4. That kind of ruins things. We need 16. Apparently I got gifted. Alright, if I hit that V in the middle, we can get it. Or do that. Either one would have worked. I went for the V because it was safer, but, well, that didn't happen. Don't matter. It's a spare. That means it's time for El Stinko, the bonus ball. Will it be good this time? Oh, that would be asking for too much, wouldn't it? El Stinko stinks with 3. That is enough to call it a good game. Welcome to Masons. A little gift there. We definitely will take that 8. Alrighty. Horrible. Horrible. Not too bad. 85. And of course, because it's Masons, that's not worth it. Game 11. Oh, I've been wanting to see if anything's happened. No. And I'll repeat this again. If you're commenting and I can respond to it, I will. If you are commenting, sometimes they will not appear. So I am not intentionally pulling an Alpha Megasin and ignoring you. If it's something I can't respond to, then, well, I can't. But usually I'll say hello or something. Sometimes I get into the groove and that slips. 11. Eked out an 8. Eights maintain, 9s and 10s are better. And marks, that much better. Bowling Gun's middle finger for 9. I was about to throw in the wood move. Niner. Left a new palace left and a not very favorable piece of wood. Niner. Close but no cigar. Yet another 9 with the kingpin. Halftime report. Oh, hello, David Lowe. Hello from here. Just a quick comment to say thanks for the vids and live streams. No problem. Have you ever bowled in a league or no? Because my work is so unreliable in terms of scheduling. I cannot go form in a league because at this point I couldn't join one because they want me to work all the time. There was supposed to be a competition, King of the Palace, being shot today, but they had electrical problems, so my day off from work is, well, here today instead of something that I help and sponsor. Anyway, halftime. 89999 44. I've heard a lot of people in England wish they had this there. But you guys have Skittles, which is somewhat close. Give you an idea of how hard Candlepin is. It is much easier for someone to get a 300 in 10 pin than it is for somebody to get a 200 in Candlepin. The world record is 245 for a high score. Set by, I think I remember his name now, Carl Sem, and co-held by Chris Sargent. Spare. Now that spare being said, it's time for El Stinko, the bonus ball. What will this bonus be? A lot of them have stunk to high heaven lately. That one didn't. But I don't like the way that piece of wood is next to that pin. 9 fill. I think this locks it up as at least average ability. is why a piece of wood perpendicular to the pin you want to have fall is not a good thing. Can't wish that being a ball 2 moment, because we saw what happened. 10. Watching a kid walking in the gutters to retrieve a pin. In Candlepin, they varnish the lanes. There's no oil you can walk on. Einer. Two frames ago, we're already in good. 8 to hit middle average ability. Which I'll repeat because people jump in and out. In Candlepin, according to ICBA standards and records from casual league bowlers, average ability is 90 points. And averages fluctuate 10 points on average, so 80 to 100 is considered a good game. If you're a professional or a competitive Candlepin bowler, the average score is a 105. To give you an idea of how much harder Candlepin is, my high Candlepin single is a 139. In 10 pin, that equivalates to getting a 243. Nice out. Staring at a 2, but we get 9. If I can get 9 in this next frame, we get the rare 3-digit score. And here at Mason's, that is a rare thing. Now I repeat, 9 fallen, not standing. Made it. Second time today. Used to be like maybe every 5-6 visits I could get 100 here. Now it's almost like every 2 or 3 visits. This is actually the second time in a row I did it at least once. I also like that piece of wood that's fattening up the 10 pin. Too bad it's third ball. We take it. All right. 9, 10, 9, 9, 10. 101. And I'll explain this because since we do have an international audience and I forget to do this, let's see. that is not a strike. In Candlepin, that's how you denote a strike, and spare is pretty close to what you normally see. Last game, the Dirty Dozen. Ending a whimper, or do good, or just the same. I swear, they have magnets in the pins. And on the third ball, you try to go for the easier points and try not to be the hero. Neither worked. I think that's the second lowest start. Yep, 6 to start. Lowest start was a 4. It was also the worst game. That was just barely behind the lob line. But like I said, minor lobs. Since it ain't a competition, we let live. When I'm in a competition, rare as that is, obviously anything lobbed is dead. 7. Unfortunately, last time I scored this low today, it did not end well. Bowling Gun's middle finger remains for 9. We're barely doing better than the worst. Getting screwed now. Good ball. I'm left with what you 10-pinners call the bucket or dinner bucket. We call it the diamond. Yeah, we're ending on a whimper. That's a 7. You have pulled out of the doldrums before, because right now this is the worst one. And a lot of times it's just barely behind the lob line, which is good. All right, at least you got something decent, at least in here. niner, but we're going to need more than that. Halftime report. Blah, blah, good. Blah, good. Rebuildable 38. We do not hit 80, it is not a good game. Mediocrity is marginally acceptable as an off game. Now I hit the head pin and I'm getting screwed every time. We need at least a 9. We need 2 9s at least. A, that couldn't be set up better. B, look who's trying. But my odds of getting that's getting better. Then get screwed over, but still, at least a 9. Nine's what we're getting. That's okay. That helps, but we need at least another one. See, if the pin deck wasn't sandpaper, that would have been a 9. 8's not going to cut it. See, I wanted to hit that on the left so I could take out those 3 and the wood could have taken out the other. And that ruined the game. Clean plate or failure? Alright, that has to go down, or else we fail to hit the bottom end of it. End in a whimper, but we just barely, and I mean at the least possible amount, made it. Just barely got into the average ability. 8s are great, but they don't help. 7s kill. 10 helped it out. Squeaked into 80. Here we go. Game 1, 90. 284. 393. The stinker of the day. The failure, 79. 81, 5. 86. 102, 7. 94, 8. 86, 9. 85, 10. 101, 11. And eked out barely with 80 at 12. So those are the games. And I can't find Candlepin. Yeah, Candlepin don't exist there. If Wikipedia is right, and I don't know if any of the houses survive, but supposedly there's a place or two in Germany. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's mostly the upper half of New England, Nova Scotia provinces of Canada. There's a couple of houses in Ohio that have it. And people in Florida are screaming for it. And, well, that'll be it. That's this impromptu session from one of the toughest bowling alleys in the world when it comes to candlepins, Masons. Although I played at the worst one that possibly existed, known as Fun Spot, where I couldn't get any higher than 68 if my life depended on it. And someone I know who averages a 115 couldn't even hit 80. So, Masons is hard, but at least they're trying to keep it playable. Georgia 551 saying, hope you enjoyed and have a good one.